I love that. Love that. Can't get enough of the intro. Love the intro with a passion. Huge shout out to DJ Maestro. DJ Maestro came up with the beat, and man, we've been rocking with it ever since. Of course, excuse me. You had Kylan Talley, of course. The voice. I'm trying to see if I can put her back on. I'm seeing if I can give me a Devin another intro. Saying that I know this one is still fresh. I know this one is still newish, but I want to see if we can still bring Miss Kylan Talley's Miss Kylan Talley's voice back. But hello all and welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson Jr. Man, I'm posting this trying to go live. I know I'm a little late here, but look, I had to pretty much cut grass. I had to get all my work done, and I didn't get it in time, so I had to rush it. So that way I could pretty much sit here, and if I wanted to talk for 2 hours, I could talk for 2 hours. What did Weezy say? When you feel life and situations deeply, you can't be sitting on the camera going through the hardest times of life. I was very sick here. Oh, I was talking about just certain situations. Yeah, look, the rest of the community is dirty. The rest of the community is dirty. The IWC, in terms of just a lot of people are just mean. A lot of people, and that's just the internet. Like the internet, there's a lot of people on the internet that just want to see you rage out, that want to see you get out of character. And honestly, as long as you don't fall for it, as long as you don't fall for the rage bait, you're pretty much good. But when it's an overabundance of them, it can definitely get out of hand. We are live. Yes. Let's post that to Twitter so we can have everybody coming in by the millions. And by the millions. And look, WWE celebrate. There we go. I need me a nice GIF. Yeah, give me King Booker. Give me King Booker. I like that. Cool. And look, of course, who else but Jordan Kirby? The Black Widow is here to bite Becky and take her title. Beware of the Black Widow. By far one of the coolest moves. One of the coldest moves. And that's one of the coolest things about AJ Lee. Her reversals were so smooth. Like, and it's like, oh no, you're getting trapped in a Hurricane Rana. Psych, you're getting strangled to death. You know, it's just like I just loved AJ Lee and everything. I don't know. I'm just overly hyped, as everybody else is, that AJ Lee is back in the WWE. I've just recently made a post about, Caitlyn, and we were all there. We talked about it. Of course, the boss, the Redeemer, what's good, my guy Justin was there. And look, I think I just did something cool. I think I just figured something out here. I think I figured something out here. I hope you guys heard that. I hope you guys heard that. Yeah, I got the John Cena one. I wasn't supposed to hear that one just yet. But I got a John Cena one too. Sorry. But that's if you guys heard that. That's if you heard that. But honestly, I'm trying to boost up. I'm trying to get some sound effects in here. Just trying to get some sound here. And honestly, I just want to clown a little bit more and throw more on here as well. I didn't even know. It's just the way they have it set up, the way I have to plug it in. It's a little weird, but we gonna make it work. We are gonna make it work. Justin, what's good, bro? Look, you got Jordan Kirby in here, of course, the GOAT as well, the boss, the Redeemer. Jordan Kirby says, after AJ Lee, who should make a return to WWE? Ooh, I mean, it's got to be Mercedes Moné. You've seen Triple H's tweet and everybody trying to dig deep inside of it. It's just like, you can always come home. You can always come back home. So that's one of the things that I thought was really, really cool. You can always come back home. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Mercedes Moné, whenever you're ready, just like whenever you're ready, Bailey ready for you. Just know, Bailey ready to knock on that door. Ding dong, hello. Justin says, did you just summon the Undertaker, bro? Hook me up with the meet and greet. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, we gotta summon the Undertaker here. And we're gonna press that button enough to where we're gonna summon the Undertaker. My light is just gonna go off. It's just gonna be just like a complete collapse. Yeah, I'm on stream right now. I ain't even need my mic for that. See. But look, I got the yeah. Sometimes I pretend like as soon as I plug it in, it's like it's blind and it's like a flashbang. It's like Jesus Christ. But yeah, that light is bright up there. That light is bright. But it was worth it. It was 100% worth it. But yeah, that's gonna be one of the things I do the next time we finally get some motion. And I can't wait for Devin to come here because Devin is gonna be needing this sound effect here for sure. 100%. But outside of that, I'm sorry. I'm only going to use that every once in a while. I'm not going to overly do it. But Jordan Kirby says we have CM Punk, AJ Lee, Brock Lesnar, and John Cena. What timeline are we in? And I'm telling you, John Cena he's almost out of here. John Cena's almost out of here. Brock Lesnar is almost. By the way, man, I understand the situation with Brock Lesnar. But ain't nobody finna cancel me just because we trying to talk about Brock Lesnar, just because we trying to be hyped about the match. If I stand up and get hyped because Brock Lesnar's interest music hit, cancel me. I don't care. I'm getting sure. It is what it is at that point in time. But there's people that's just like, oh, they would spell his name BR. They'll keep the asterisk CK. Like, we know who you're talking about, brother. Like, it's not that deep. I'm telling you, it is not that deep. And so, with all that being said, I'm still hyped for Brock Lesnar, John Cena. CM Punk, AJ Lee is just going to slap so hard. This is going to be absolutely incredible. And I think the next person up, at least in terms of a big return, is got to be Mercedes Moné. Once her time is up, once she's done being the belt collector in AEW, she's going to make her way back to WWE. Like a lot of people, or even, no, I won't even say Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, I think he's AEW for life. Like, he's wearing it on his sleeve. I don't think he needs to go to WWE at any point in time. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Afternoon, my guy. What's good, brother? What's good? We were just going off, of course, talking about pretty much CM Punk, AJ Lee, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, the returns that we got so far recently, and of course, all the ones that are coming up currently. And so when you look at it and when you're seeing everything play out, I'm ready to see how WrestlePalooza turns out. Jordan Kirby, did we get a Paul Heyman and AJ Lee interaction soon in WWE? I hope so. Because AJ Lee, of course, can talk with the best of them. Like AJ Lee, you can put her up there with anybody, man, woman, dog, cat. I don't care who it is. Like you you're getting some great content. You're getting a great promo, and you're getting a really, really good or a great match when you're dealing with the likes of the couple AJ Lee and CM Punk individually. We don't know what it's like, together. So we'll see. And honestly, I want to see how AJ Lee is going to be in the ring, and I don't think we're going to see a little bit of ring rust, even though she has been training, even though she has been putting in the work outside of the ring, it's still a WWE style that you have to wrestle. And I don't think we've seen anybody recently just come out of the gate and not look like they had a little bit of ring rust to them, just a little bit. Not saying that it was just a terrible match, but it's just shaking off the cobwebs. Just shaking, especially since it's been almost more than a decade. Yeah, I'm not expecting a 5-star classic, with CM Punk, AJ Lee, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. I'm just expecting a solid match where CM Punk is AJ Lee get the win. That's all I'm looking forward to. That's all I'm looking forward for. But outside of all that, there's so much that was happening. Jordan Kirby says, imagine if we see CM Punk win the world championship and AJ Lee wins the women's world championship, and they just take over the world like the toxic power couple. Just imagine them going back, and who can talk with them who can go bar for bar with them on the mic? Like, honestly, who can go bar for bar with CM Punk and AJ Lee on the mic? Because even if we go male female, I could give you maybe LA Knight and Rhea Ripley. Like I can see that being really good. Sure, they could go back and forth for like 10 minutes and be really, really entertaining. But I think it's very limited. I think once we get this rivalry over with CM Punk and Seth Rollins and they move on, there's no other reason to keep them together. Be funny if and when AJ Lee smacks the piss out of Paul. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. It is gonna happen. It is going to happen, honestly. And I can't wait for Paul Heyman to sell that thing, because Paul Heyman, he's gonna hit the floor. And it's gonna take him a minute to get up. It's gonna take him a minute. No disrespect to Paul Heyman. WWE can't have AJ losing her return match. Definitely can't. And she has to submit Becky Lynch. Because even though she did have the Black Widow, I mean, she won a couple of matches with the sliced bread, in the corner, a move that the only move that Eva Marie perfected, I guess we could say, but AJ Lee finished a couple matches with the sliced bread. She used to hit the Shining Wizard, so she can still get the pin over Becky Lynch, or if we want to be funny, Seth Rollins. It's just like, but I can't wait to see the outcome of this whole thing. But yeah, CM Punk and AJ Lee, you definitely got to get the win, unless they're just going to be the grimy heels in this situation. CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, and we get some fire back and forth afterwards when it's all said and done. C. Fluid says, to be honest, AJ Lee will not look out of place in the ring with these current ladies, unlike Nikki Bella. That's the crazy part, though. Nikki Bella, I didn't think she looked bad. Against Becky Lynch, and I think that's also a huge testament to Becky Lynch, because even though I'm not a huge Becky Lynch fan, I do like Becky Lynch, but I do think that at this point in time where Becky Lynch, she's not going to be the Golden State. I thought that would have been a Rhea Ripley. You put Rhea Ripley in the ring with somebody and they don't really have to do much, to look great, because it's Rhea Ripley. But Becky Lynch held her own, and Nikki Bella did really, really well too. And she looks really good. We got to give it to Nikki Bella. She looked really, really good in the match. So I do got to give credit where credit is due. I can't always be negative, I guess. Jordan Kirby, what was the worst match in WWE in 2025? Honestly, worst and disappointing to me was John Cena versus Cody Rhodes WrestleMania. And I know that's kind of like softball for a lot of people, but I was really, really, really disappointed. We saw John Cena turn heel. We knew what was happening. We knew what was coming. We knew the outcome, and yet we got Travis Scott, walking out there, and it was really dull, really dull. It went off to a standstill multiple times. I fell asleep. I was in and out of consciousness, falling in and out of sleep watching the main event. And it really, really hurt me. It really, 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 really hurt me. And that John Cena, granted, John Cena did win. I was still happy. But at the end of the day, man, it was just I felt like that was just a waste of 25 to 30 minutes of my life at that time. C. Fluid says AJ Lee was originally trained by one of the best, Jay Lethal. Oh, I think she did more than train with him, allegedly. I think let me actually hold on. Jay Lethal, AJ. Before I make that allegation, yeah, okay. 3 wrestlers AJ Lee has romantically been involved with. Okay, yeah, okay, I can say that. Yeah, she did more than just train with him. Okay, okay. I was like, before I make that joke, before I throw that thing out there, but yeah, of course. And Jay Lethal, who we need to see a whole lot more often. Jay Lethal's a dog, man, in the ring, on the mic. Like, Jay Lethal is just hilarious, and he can be serious when he needs to be, and you can't touch him in the ring. So AJ Lee, she's been blessed. She's been blessed to be around great talent as well. It was just a matter of just dealing with so many injuries and concussions, and WWE not taking it seriously at the time. Kind of the same situation with CM Punk. He was injured a lot, and yet he was still going out there and wrestling and putting him against Ryback, the most, unsafe, I guess you could say, the most dangerous wrestler that you can wrestle with. So yeah, it was a little careless from WWE. Y'all already read that, my bad. I'm still waiting for AJ Lee to hit a go to sleep. Yeah, honestly, I'm waiting for her to drop this diet plan that she has. Like, she looks fit, like insanely fit. Nikki Bella versus Becky was the worst. Really? I didn't think it was that bad. Like, granted, I'm not saying that it was a 5-star match, but my expectations were on the ground. And Nikki Bella, I think, performed better than what I really expected her to do. So I had to give her credit there. But John Cena and Cody Rhodes, they literally sat there and did John Cena sat there and did nothing. Sat there and did absolutely nothing. That match was just slow paced and just absolutely boring. Just dragged on for so long. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Yes, sir. They trained in the ring as well in the fan. Yeah, look, I'll tell you. Woo, that was that Jay Lethal. No, that was that Jay Lethal. I'm telling you, Jay had it like that. I'm telling you. AJ Lee looks shredded. Yeah, she looks absolutely insane. Like, she looked like she could bench press Becky Lynch, like, at this point. And on top of that, she's in her prime in terms of wrestling age, coming up on 40 years old, which is not a problem at all. CM Punk's 40, over 40, and he's looking just fine. So AJ Lee is gonna have at least a good 5 years, to make this insanely entertaining, and for us to soak this all in, that we have AJ Lee back And give it 9 months, Naomi gonna be back too. You know, it's like Naomi is gonna be back too. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Lethal had a hand in training Dom as well. Yeah, but not in the way, I hope not in the way that he was training AJ Lee. I hope. But yeah, Dominic Mysterio, of course, and he grew up around legends. Man, that man grew up around legends. He had a WWE camera in his face at what, 8 years old, 9 years old, shaking the ladder with the softest shake in the world, as Rey Mysterio was talking about it. It's like, it's so cool. It is so cool to watch. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Punk doesn't look tired as he did in AEW. AEW, he looks stressed. Like, that's like, have you guys ever worked at Amazon? Like, it looked like he worked at Amazon. Like that's how CM Punk. That was what CM Punk looked like at that time. No offense if you worked at Amazon. I worked at Amazon twice, and granted, it's great money. It's really good money. But geez, it's like you walk in and it's like your life form gets sucked out of you. Like, geez, it's like, dang, do I want to finish it? You're like a zombie walking around there. Like, man, oh man. But outside of that, that's what CM Punk looked like. That's exactly what CM Punk looked like, honestly. But he had the gray hair, and he was also rocking the gray. It was a whole lot more gray than usual. And he was trying to think of ways to be creative and trying to think of ways to still be entertaining when nobody was trying to rock with him, when nobody really wanted to work with him at all. So it was hard. It was hard. Jordan Kirby says, what if we mix War Games match? Who would the teams be? A War Games match? In terms of with CM Punk and Seth Rollins, because if you have Seth Rollins, you do have the Vision. Say we wanted to go like AEW with this, and you have the Seth Rollins, your Braun Breaker, your Bronson Reed, and then your Becky Lynch, and then on CM Punk's side you have I guess you could throw in your Jey Uso. Jey Uso has a problem with the other side. It might take a minute. You can go LA Knight, but I think your best bet obviously would have to go Roman, since he's been getting his shoes took for the past month and a half. Now he did settle the score with in Clash in Paris, but still, you can do if you wanted, like I said, if you wanted to go AEW with it, and you can have a AJ Lee, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, War Games taking on the Vision, and Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and then of course Becky Lynch. Or we could just take the women out and we can find something in there. Then that's not saying anything wrong, with that, because women have their separate War Games as well. And we can also fantasy book that too. But that's where I would see, in more ways than one. And I see it being entertaining, especially now that we're seeing women taking a whole lot more bumps now. Are you going to go through the reasons why Roman is not the man on this stream? Yeah, let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into it. Because there's a huge reason why I think Roman Reigns ass. I dropped the ball on it. See, we're going to work on it. We're going to practice it. I dropped the ball there, but I'm going to skip it. Look, we're going to go through it here. And the main reason why I have a huge problem with Roman Reigns, and I wanted to talk, I usually talked about this with Devin, and Devin would be like, well, that's different. And I'm going to have that as a sound effect too. Oh, that's different. That's different. That's exactly what Devin would say all the time. Well, that's different. Roman Reigns used to hold the likes of John Cena, the likes of Brock Lesnar. He would hold them accountable and saying that, hey, you're holding the title and yet you're disappearing. You want to show up and you want to wrestle for a couple months and then you just want to disappear, while us in the locker room are busting our tails trying to do the best that we can for the WWE universe. And he was do all this huge rah speech. And unfortunately, during his really, really solid rise, after he started winning the fans over, that's when he had to sit out. He unfortunately was diagnosed with leukemia. His leukemia came back, and he had to take a whole lot of time off. And then, of course, COVID happened as well. Then he definitely wasn't going to see him, or at least not as much. And then he shows back up. He wins the championship after signing the contract. He wins against who was that? Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. I thought it was awesome. Of course, you see him with the Wise Man. You see him with Paul Heyman. Things are looking up. Things are looking really, really good for Roman Reigns. Then you start seeing him wrestling Rey Mysterio, you know. Then he starts bullying Dominic Mysterio. Then he starts to bully his family. You know, it's entertaining. You know, it's fun for what we're seeing, especially with no fans. You know, it's fun. It's fun for what we're seeing at this point in time. But man, once you start going through the reign, once you start seeing what he's actually done in his reign, it has been absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. There has been multiple times where I've told Devin, where is our champion at? Roman Reigns would come on the microphone when he still had his bulletproof vest on. He would get in the microphone and tell the audience, we're not seeing this belt on TV. Brock Lesnar is sitting at home holding this belt hostage. And that's exactly what he did the moment he got that belt. The moment Roman Reigns got that belt, he was nowhere to be found. And of course, on top of that, matches just completely, I think, and I won't necessarily say decreased in value, but I want to say decreased in quality, because it was the same old thing. Roman Reigns beat you down. Roman Reigns talking to the camera. You get your 5-minute comeback where Roman kicked out at 2.5. Of course, spear might even choke you out. That's about it. That's the match. And we saw that for 2.5 years. Can anybody tell me the greatest Roman Reigns match in that reign? I don't think and that's the crazy part about this with Roman Reigns, because I can talk all day about John Cena. You know, I can talk all day about John, because John Cena's my GOAT. You know, I can talk about John Cena in that instance because John Cena was there 24/7. John Cena became such a problem. People started to boo him because they were just like, brother. You know, it's just like it was just a huge problem for hold on one second.